Well, we still have 3 matches, everybody, and I honestly do not have time to wait anymore. Let's go ahead and reveal the next match. Welcome on in, our GM, for this second game, Xandra. Xander, come join me. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello there. Whoa, just so you know, you have a lot of background noise in there.
Oh, no, what? Really? Okay, hold on a second. All right, voice and video. All right. Okay.
Windy Xandra. Yeah, I think that sounds better. Cool. Hey.
I went and clicked a bunch of stuff, and hopefully this is better now.
As far as I can tell, yes, it's much better. Cool. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing all right. I just finished writing a lot in a very short amount of time, so I'm very, yesterday I was extremely tired. Today, feeling better. You ever be have you ever found yourself in a situation where you feel like, I feel like I'm getting sick? I'm not sick. I haven't been outside.
Oh, like
I don't
every
have a
day.
fever. Yeah, it's to feel like if I had been outside and talked with people and gotten the flu years ago, now it would be okay. I would be getting sick, but no, just my body going Xander, you need to calm down. You need to chill. You need to look at people play a wonderful game for an hour.
Yeah, I love it. What wonderful game do you need to make people play?
So, since this is New Game Plus,
yes,
and you know my jam, you know what I like to show off here on Kuso6rande.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a great opportunity to play some Wily stages, and I can't think of a better Mega Man ROM hack than Rockman 5, Wily's Dream Space.
Oh, Wily's Dream Space. This is for NES, right?
Yes, this is for NES. Also, I'm not sure if folks in the stream can hear it. I asked specifically Escorian to leave it on the title screen because this jam is really good.
You know, that's one thing with a lot of these ROM hacks that if they have music from other games, they usually choose really good songs, and if they make their own songs, they're really, really good. I'm hoping that you're not lying to us.
No, this game's great. This is the trippiest Mega Man ROM hack I've played, so I'm very excited. We'll finally get to see the titular Wily's Dream Space.
Oh my gosh. What is my dream space? Oh, yeah, apparently it involves Yoda. At least last night it did. Yoda
also,
was a jerk.
I've asked Escorian to show us the regular stage select for a second, so before you start the countdown, make sure to give him a chance to, because I just want to give it, if folks have not seen Wily's Dream Space before, I think they should see what the stage select normally looks like before people input the password I have given them.
Yeah, that is fair. Give me just a second. I've got a little capturing to do to make sure everything looks all fancy schmancy. Maybe I'll
perfect.
Capture people's hearts too.
Aw, see, that's the kind of stuff I like to write.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Xandra, I finally started doing a little writing again. And mind you, it's very sporadic at this point, and it's not a whole lot, but it's still something.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great to make small things. Writing a little, perfect, ideal.
Yeah, it's going to end up just being a short story anyway, so that's completely fine. And probably closer to flash fiction with length anyways, because I love, I did a lot of work in, I believe, my undergrad and in grad school, writing very compressed pieces, and they're really tricky to get right, but I really enjoy them. We have pretty music.
We do.
I think.
Yeah. Can you tease what your story is about, or is it still hush hush and you want to reveal it later?
Nah, I'm not gonna tease it. It's
perfect.
Honestly, it's not a revolutionary story, everybody. But it will be. Yeah, there are very few new ideas. It's just that what you do with the ideas can be fun. Okay, there we go. We've got the dudes.
Yeah, like, so this is normally what this stage select looks like, but like I have given a password.
Yeah.
You notice there's a slight difference between Rockman 5 and this one.
I like Starman, okay? He definitely does not belong in this game. Oh, this is good. Okay.
Yep. Alright, I've given Scorpion the go-ahead to input the password.
Yes. And
Okay.
it's
Very good.
input as in load state.
Yeah, so this game actually is really impressive. I basically, we had a talk, and because this, like, so I've given them a hacked version. This is the biscuit, the cookie of like ROM hacks. I've hacked this twice to give it infinite lives, because, you know, let's be nice. But that does mean, like, the game was not meant to have infinite lives, so I figured, you know what, I let them, like, you know, make a save state on, like, between levels, just in case of a soft lock. Like, they only get to load if we tell them, okay, you are soft locked, you can load now. But otherwise, I figure, belt and suspenders. Why not, like, make sure people have as many chances as possible to enjoy, truly enjoy.
Everybody spam your Mega Man / Dream emotes, okay? Because we need them to fly up. As soon as I see movement in the stage, I will start our timer. I still love that Moonberry's icon is Garfield getting thrown out of the window. That's good.
I hadn't seen it. Oh, that's perfect. All right, let's go.
Let's go. It's Mega Man time.
Yep. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I hope you're all excited for Mega Man because we've got it for an hour. So, big question. This is Kuso6rande.
Yep.
ROM hacks definitely have a variety of quality. What are your thoughts about this one?
So, this one is so there's a reason why this is not the first time it's on Kuso6rande. It's a bit mean. It's one of those where, like, oh, it has such ideas. It really is like, this is a high concept ROM hack. It does mean that it is not perfectly, it's not exactly like perfectly balanced. A lot of the stuff just, I'm not sure if that's like in the actual game, but stuff does a lot of damage to you.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing that right now, especially here.
There's also some of the weapons are just wacky. The napalm bomb, literally, it just drops it in front of you. Zero like velocity. You just drop it at your feet, which is not super useful.
Yeah.
The game is not super concerned with sprite limits. There's a lot of flickering. And a lot of the stages will just do things you're not really supposed to do in Mega Man, just because, like, this isn't an œuvre d'art. This is an art piece. See it as like someone who really wanted, like, you know, to shed some light. Give us a look into Wily's dream space, everything that, like, sentence can be, and I love it for that. It's just like, yeah, no, experience this game.
Yeah, I think the last time that we had this, you said that essentially, you know, Mega Man games have a specific type of design, and the worst ROM hacks do not follow that design. Yeah, and it makes sense. Like, after playing these ROM hacks, it makes sense why the games were designed the way they were.
Yep, exactly. There's a lot of stuff where, like, there is a little playbook Mega Man designers use that they probably haven't made public, because why would they? Like, they're the ones making the games. Why would they need to, like, share it? But there's stuff, you know, stuff where, like, if you are making a level that scrolls, that has a screen scroll, like, you know, you hit the bottom of the screen and the screen scrolls one full screen down. If it's moving down, and then it moves down, it connects to a horizontal section, you need to make sure Mega Man can only, like the only place for Mega Man to go is away from the scrolling direction so that Mega Man doesn't land next to like the screen, and then you get the thing in Contra where you're like moving the camera along with you, but you're 5 pixels from the edge of the screen and you keep running into things. Like, because the game's not programmed to adjust the camera. The game is relying on the level designer to do that.
Well, this is brutal, and I love it. I'm a big fan.
This is why I gave them a version with infinite lives. This is why their lives read like, instead of like, 2 lives normally, you have S lives.
Yeah, one thing that might become a problem for some players, though, is that with infinite lives, you will run out of power-ups. They are welcome to load a password, though, if they would like. That is something that is always an option to reset and go back to the beginning of what you were given for the match.
Yep, and since this is not like, these are not Robot Master stages, okay, so...
Rush!
Rush does not appreciate stairs,
Not at all.
Or ladders. But yeah, Mega Man 2 is the only game where it gets be a little bit of a problem, but...
Oh my gosh, they're too fast.
Yeah.
No! That's death! I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think you can get soft lock in this game because you are past the point where you can refill your weapons and the boss only takes damage from a weapon. I don't think that's an issue in this game specifically.
Okay.
Oh, my favorite. Okay, see how that one shot went really slow from that turret in Ascarian's on her side of things?
Yeah.
That's because in Wily's Dream Space, a lot of turrets, these turrets specifically, are programmed to shoot bullets at a random speed. A random means like there is a maximum speed, and any value between 0 and that maximum speed is valid, and that includes 0. So those turrets can shoot a bullet that does not move and stays there and will hurt you every single time you touch it, and you have to avoid it somehow because it will just remain there forever.
Okay.
It's great.
I don't like it. Oh yeah, somebody saw a stationary one. That's just in this ROM hack, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's been in another ROM hack before, but my recollection, it's only in this one.
Gotcha.
I love this one. Also, shout out to Tigers. Year of the Tiger coming up.
Rawr! Yeah,
I'm
but not yet.
What Tiger? Nope, not yet. And it's great that Tigers actually are doing the things. Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh, the head! It wants to murder! It's out for blood! Maybe it was a vampire robot.
I mean, yeah,
we've never had Dracula Man or Vampire Man, have we?
No, we had Shade Man, but that was in, gosh, which one was it? Mega Man 7?
Now, what did you call that?
Shade Man.
Shade Man? So he's
a
like Shadow Man.
Yeah, exactly. He's a theme park animatronic Dracula.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, the design is interesting. The Shade Man's whole stage is a Ghosts and Goblins love letter. So it's extremely like horror theme park robot master that we chose to make sentient for some reason, because that's what people do in Mega Man. Like, hey, is there a thing we can make into a person, but still give them the job of that thing? Let's do that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and give that a pass. That counts as a Dracula Man.
I think, yeah, what? Okay, so do vampires okay? Just like in general, but are vampires okay if you?
No, they need help.
Yeah, if you cut off their head, don't they die from that? Or I guess it depends on which vampire you're talking about.
It depends. On some lore, if you cut off their head and bury them with their head at their feet, then they will not survive. But you have to put the head at the feet. Some lore, if you cut off their head, they're gone. They're done for. Yeah.
Some of it's like some of them are just like, well, what an inconvenience you've given me.
See, I had a class about vampires in college.
What?
That's not even a joke. I had a
What was the
vampire class. What?
What was the name of the class?
I think it was called Vampires
and you? No.
and You. No, it was a folklore class. We were. Yeah, I did a lot of folklore for my English degree, and
That's so cool.
of course, it became super useful in that I can tell you vampire facts during Kuso6rande.
Do you want to hear an extremely silly side note?
Sure.
I was 2 years old when I finally put it together that folklore is folklore.
Yep.
Yep. My mind always learned it. I learned it before I knew what folk and lore meant as words, so my mind just filed it into like a little like canister and says, okay, folklore, yes. That's like, history, weird history myths from people. I never looked back to realize, oh, that's where that comes from.
Yeah,
Funny.
it's lore created by the folk.
Yep.
Yeah, it's sort of the same with folk art, because there's upper class art, or the high art, like opera and such. There's pop art done by pop musicians and such, and then folk art. Usually, like quilts are a big part of folk art, because they're like, it's just done by individuals who may have patterns passed down in their family, and it's honestly, I think it's extremely important because there's a lot that can be said about society by learning about their stories and their individual ways to create art. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. I know. Advertisement for folklore. It's great.
I'm sorry, I'm losing it at, like...
Everyone dying?
Moonberry? I wasn't expecting the stage to be this hard, and yet here we maybe I don't give myself enough credit for, like,
You've
the
played
Mega
a few
Man
Mega
play.
Mans.
Oh, there it is! There's high bullet, bye bullet. I played more Mega Mans than is required. Oh, wow, the double!
Another
the double
one!
stationary bullet.
Wow.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, and we have plenty of folklore still going around, and oddly, it's like you'd think that with the interconnectedness of the internet, stories would have individual stories happening in places would die down. But no, it's actually grown quite a bit, and like there are new types of folklore that exist that never had existed before. It's cool. Also a little bit sketchy at times because, there are plenty of things that your aunt shares on Facebook that are probably not right, but that's folklore. And then there are some things that are right, but it's folklore. And you gotta tell the difference between what's right and what's incorrect. Or
So
at least what matters.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, how long does it take for, like, a lie or, like, a misinterpretation to become folklore? How long does that process take?
Let's see. It has to be shared in order to become lore, and it also has to, the definition of a meme, which is essentially where folklore comes from, is that memes are things that vary in interpretation between one person and another. Technically, literally everything is a meme per memetics. Folklore, though, requires the process of sharing that, and you'll start to see patterns and differences between the stories that are told, and you'll also see local variants that tell more about the specific location than necessarily the tale. You might see some variants that focus, like, I'm thinking old fairy tales and stuff that focus a lot on the danger in the woods and the overall message being don't go into the woods by yourself, because that was something that really mattered during the time that they shared those stories, you know?
Oh yeah, like this, yeah. It's stuff where like some, isn't there a thing where oh, I forget where it was, but there was something, oh, never mind. Yeah, my brain just yeeted that information right out. I was too busy looking, oh my gosh, Ascarian, like, finally made it past,
Wow,
like,
that was
intense. Yeah.
Wow.
The checkpoint, see, the great thing about Infinite Lives is once you reach a checkpoint, you got it, baby. You don't have to play the rest of that stage anymore.
Oh, that's so good.
What's the opposite, like the rest but before?
You don't... No backtracking. It's just...
Yeah, it's... You know what I'm saying? It's like almost, but in the other direction. Oh, then look at this place. Okay, check this place out. I know what's gonna happen. It's great.
What?
Yep, and then Mega Man just blinks. What?
Oh no, invisible blocks. This is not good. This is not good.
Well, that's the great thing about this whole section.
Yeah, as long as you have a weapon that can go down a little bit and collides with walls, it might be doable. Okay.
Hey man, there's a weapon there for you. People in chat are starting to understand.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there's... We can see the hippity-hoppities. Okay. Yeah, by the way, there are multiple categories for folklore specifically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because urban legends are probably the ones that people know the most, and those are stories that people generally tell that may or may not be believed. They're they're stories that pretty much everybody hears, but the details make it so that, there's a possibility it could have happened, but it really, is difficult to tell. There are also fairy tales. Those are stories that are told where people are not expected to believe them. So like stories that have morals. I'd say like one fairy tale that you wouldn't think of as a fairy tale, but is the guy going up into the mountains, and there's this sad little snake who's so cold, and he's and the snake's like, help me, and so the guy picks him up and takes him down to the bottom of the mountain. He's like, you're not gonna bite me, right? Snake's like, no, I'm not gonna bite you. Finally gets down to the bottom of the mountain, puts the snake down, and snake bites him, and he's like, hey, what the crap? You said you weren't gonna do it. And the snake says, you knew who I was when you picked me up, or you knew what I was when you picked me up. So, it has a moral to the end of it, but at the same time, nobody expects that story to be right. Frog and the Scorpion, perfect other thing. Other
Frog and the Scorpion, which has now also become like a modern meme with the the image of like the frog and the scorpion sinking and the frog said to the scorpion what have you done? Now you fool, now we'll both drown. Lol, said the scorpion. Lamau.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a spin-off of a fairy tale. Yeah, it's a meme that originated from a fairy tale. You wouldn't expect it to be a fairy tale normally because it doesn't come from Germany in like the 1700s, but it is. It would be classified as one. And finally, the third type, myths. They're generally stories that are told where the people who tell them believe them to be true, and the people who receive them usually believe them to be true. That's usually going to be religious beliefs fall under myths. Myth doesn't mean that it's false per se, it just means that it's a story that's told by people who believe it's true to people who believe it's true, and that it actually happened. Yeah.
It's so neat. I love the little difference in vernacular. I never knew about that. That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Does a myth become well, a myth is still considered folklore. A story doesn't have to be fake to be folklore. A story can absolutely have happened. It's the process of telling and the way that it's told and the way that the person who tells it either believes or doesn't and the way that the person receiving it believes or doesn't. That is what determines what type of folklore it is. So,
have you ever played the game Library of Ruina?
No.
It's really interesting. It is a South Korean game that is like just really fascinating. Came out last year, and it is like you're essentially playing like it's like an RPG with like some deck building stuff, and you play what is essentially like a force of ill sort of in like a big city. And the great thing is that like you're like the gameplay is essentially like sort of abducting people and like doing bad things.
Ooh, fun.
But it's really the story is fascinating. It's like I'm simplifying way too much, but the like throughout the game, like you as an entity, like is like you are classified. You gain different classifications based on what the people in the city think of you. And at some point, you like at the start, like people are just it's like a rumor or something, and eventually you graduate to an urban legend because people are now starting to tell stories about you.
Yeah, but they don't know if you exist or not, but they tell stories. Yeah, that would absolutely be you turning into an urban legend in that case. Yeah.
It's really it's like one of my favorite games last year. It's incredible.
Okay, you gotta link me to that because I feel like I've got some folklorist friends who would probably really be interested in learning and maybe going through that game. Yeah, it's cool. The most important thing about the field of folklore isn't about discovering whether or not stories are true, but what the stories say about the culture.
Yes.
Yeah, and...
Oh! Iscorian made it to the next screen. Has Iscorian figured out what's going on?
So yeah, it's invisible. Invisible floor.
Is it?
It is to me. Is it not invisible? It was a dual screen situation. What? What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
The platforms on the bottom half of the screen are showing invisible platforms on the top.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
Right? Alright, time to fight one of these jerks. You can stand on his head. And then you spin.
Whee!
Spin.
Oh, I like this guy, spinny guy.
Yeah. It's kind of a jerk though, because he's like just it is a pain to fight this robot, but also we'll just zip you around.
Whee!
I had a bit of a rough time on stream when I did this one.
Yeah, it seems like he deals a lot of damage and doesn't take a lot of damage. Oh, geez, yeah, do not slide while you're on top of Spinny Guy.
Do not. Bad idea. But thankfully, checkpoint.
Yeah, that is very important here.
Trying to figure out what does damage, what is vulnerable, what does a lot of damage to this jerk. I forget what it is. I think it might be Wave Man because you gum up, like the robot's tracks, or it could be Napalm Bomb because it has to be the weakness of something because it is just so weirdly useless in this game. Nope, not even. Oh, Moonberry having a hard time.
Oh, Moonberry put a frowny face in Discord. Oh, everybody post frowny faces for Moonberry.
That's not a frown though. That's a sad face. There's no eyebrows. It can't be a frown without eyebrows.
In Utah, I can. Okay.
So
Let-
we'll agree to fight with words.
I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and explain.
Is this
in
like
Utah,
itching? Like I'm itching an itch when we really just you were scratching an itch, sort of thing?
Sort of. In Utah, people don't understand that eyebrows are required to be part of a frown, and there's a reason why. It's
Really?
because of Mormonism. I'm not even kidding you, because there's a whole song. Oh, what's the song? Frown Song Mormon. Let me look it up. Oh yeah, the lyrics go, if you chance to meet a frown, do not let it stay. Quickly turn it upside down and smile that frown away. No one likes a frowning face, change it for a smile. Make the world a better place by smiling all the while.
Yeah, that turn that frown upside down is a thing I heard. It never really made sense to me because like if you like, oh, I will raise my eyebrows, and now I'm surprised. I'm not as I'm it never really like, you know, I never figured out why. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but like people, like kids, I know that that's a thing elsewhere as well, but like kids sing this multiple times. Like at church, okay, and
okay.
never is there a mention of eyebrows in any of that. So while growing up, it's very easy for kids in Utah to miss the eyebrow portion of a frown. So yeah,
okay.
That's also why everybody in Utah smiles at you.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's like, what was it that someone said at some point when describing? Oh, I mean, yes, okay, correct. I meant someone said something at some point about the difference between nice and being kind, as to like there's that's gonna break your heart. Like some people are nice to you, but others are kind, which means they're not always like outwardly friendly, but they will help you when you need it and stuff like that. And I always like found it. Oh yeah, that's something to like pay attention to, because I never was growing up in situations where people would be like, at least not like, you know, I was rarely in situations where someone would be nice to me and then like, or just like, you know, appear nice, but then like not actually do something like that's a thing I didn't have a lot of like experience with, so it kind of like hit me hard when but that's a thing. Huh.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who think that you have to look like if you're a good person, you have to look happy. Here in Utah, like there's a whole Kirby music. Thank you so much. No, there's possibly a urban legend level that. Essentially, when somebody is a good, righteous person, you can just tell by looking at them because they have a change in what they call their countenance. And so just by looking at them and the way that they smile and the way that they look, you can tell that they are a good person.
Oh, that sucks. Did an evil person write this?
Say what now?
Did an evil person write this? Did an evil person who's good at smiling write this?
I mean, probably, if you've seen some of the... Oh my gosh. I don't want to go too far into that because, you know, we've got Mega Man here who's also smiling a lot. Not always, though. He doesn't always need to smile.
Yeah, that's the thing I've learned, that like, oh yeah, it's... in my like, I've looked back on like stuff in my childhood where I've been like given like, oh, what are you gonna do, Mega Man? Well, it's not going anywhere.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if Moonberry is able to figure this one out. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Moonberry might have the right idea here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Moonberry. Almost. Well, I think Moonberry had it, just had an unfortunate death there. That's fine.
Yep. Mega Man, though. See, I appreciate Mega Man because Mega Man is not like... You notice Mega Man doesn't smile. Mega Man is, like, focused. Mega Man has an obstacle course, and he needs to get to the other side.
Yeah, honestly, he's determined. It doesn't actually does Mega Man have feelings?
Yes, Mega Man is not like, okay, so X is closer to like full-fledged like human person, consciousness, sapience, sentience, all that stuff.
Okay.
X is a little like Mega Man is like, I wouldn't say halfway between, like, you know, just absolutely unconscious robot and person, but somewhere along the spectrum. Like, X was meant to be a step up, but Mega Man certainly is doing a lot of like thinking and emotions and stuff like that, but probably like does not
oh my gosh, this
some
sprite limit. Yeah, like I always thought Mega Man was like a dumb version of Mega Man X. Hey, I'm Mega Man! Gotta fight the doctor, because the doctor told me.
It's just a very different kind of thing where like, and as someone who has like learned and like discovered more about her like own like neurodivergence, it's really interesting to find out the difference.
Oh yeah.
Intelligence isn't the number, it's a whole like, oh, how do you process information? Are there like some like kind of like logic or application, like emotional application of logic that you do, stuff like that. And I think that's like really, there's a really interesting, like, there's gotta be someone who did a talk on this, right? The difference between Mega Man and X. I would love to like listen to something like that.
Oh, I don't like this room, but if you shoot an arrow there, slide, land on it, and jump, and don't shoot it too low, then you can do it. Oh, well. Yeah, honestly, you know, even if people aren't necessarily quote-unquote book smarts, like, it's very easy to discount people just because they don't get one thing that you get, and that's really not the case at all. One way for me to be really stupid, by the way, is if I need to learn something new. I love learning. I love doing it on my own. But if somebody like sits there and tells me what to do, I will almost always like either do the opposite or just misinterpret it in the dumbest way possible. And it always happens. Okay, if I'm driving somewhere and someone gives me directions, I will not be able to follow them and often end up doing exactly the opposite. And it's not on purpose. It's just how my brain works. So, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, so if you ever really want to make me feel dumb and get angry at you, all you have to do is try to sit me down and, like, not show, like, you can show me how to do something, that'll be fine, but instruct me how to do something, and I will fail miserably.
That's interesting. For me, it's kind of like the opposite. If someone, like, gives me clear directions, like, oh, perfect, yes, I was raised by, like, you know, I was raised and taught by very controlling people. So, like, yes, I've been like, taught to, like, follow directions exactly, but the problem for me is, like, if people start asking me about, like, how I'm doing things or second-guessing or, like, give me, like, too much information at once that it, like, too much, that you give me enough things, the first ones you gave me will fall off my little ADHD shelf, and suddenly, like, oh, I cannot, I forgot the first thing, I can't hold them all in my brain at once. Hi, Toadman. Toadman's just here to vibe.
No, I'm like, you know, the people, I'm glad that he's chilling there. He's got a good dance. But yeah, like there are people who, if you tell them, you know, go to your left, and they go right, you say, no, your other left. That's like me, but with any instruction that you give me, I will find some way to botch it. And it's just, like, in general, I'll be like, you know, either show me what to do, or give me something that I can read up on, or just let me do it and don't tell me anything to do, and I'm gonna be able to figure it out. But as soon as you give me specific directions, yeah, there goes the scoring.
Okay, all right.
That's certainly a way to die. I need to find someone bad at giving directions. You know what? That sounds like a match made in heaven. I might be able to deal with that.
Oh.
The bad thing as well is that most of the time, like, I try to tell people, no, don't tell me. Just, like, just send me a guide or instructions or let me figure it out. And they start getting angry and they're like, no, I can help you on this. I know how to do it. I'm like, I know you know how to do it, but I'm gonna be dumb. And then they still try to teach you, and I sit there looking like a moron. They're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, just let me do it my way. Let me do it my way. Let me learn the way that it works for my brain.
That's important.
Yeah.
Wily died right before the boss checkpoint. That's a heartbreaker.
That is a little bit rough, but these levels aren't particularly long. I think, you know, gaining the knowledge, Moonberry still has a very decent possibility of getting back there fairly quickly.
Yep, the level after that is fairly, expedient, quick.
Yeah.
Oh, see, good use of weapons. Really good use of weapons there.
That's important with Mega Man, especially if you're not starting. Everybody, if you're new here, this is the Reoccurring Nightmares New Game Plus version of Kuso6rande. This round specifically, we're focusing on games that have been in Kuso6rande before, but we are starting the players partway through so that they get to experience some of the joy that none of the other players got to see. And simply put, you chose a Mega Man ROM hack that has some interesting Wily levels. And we got nowhere near Wily, but we're here now.
No, which is sad because Wily's stage gets so incredibly trippy, but I guess I maybe overestimated just like I underestimated the difficulty of the first part of it.
I don't think you did.
It just means
maybe you underestimated the difficulty. It's just, this is rough. Moonberry is on to the boss. It'll take a little while to clear it, but I think Moonberry has a good shot of catching up.
Yeah, well, it just means like next time I can like show the actual Wily Fortress. Game keeps on giving. Do you have a game you've been like giving out a lot in Kuso6rande history?
A game that I like giving out?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I mean, I gave out Wizard of Oz, and I gave that out during the first and second Kuso6rande, and then haven't really had an opportunity since then. That's always been one of my favorites to give out. What else?
A good one.
I'm trying to recall. Because I tend to go back to some of the classics more than other people. One, because I'm partially lazy, but two, because there's just so much gold in some of the, like, well-known Kusoge that, you know, you can just keep going back and mining. What have I given out? Like, let me go back to, like, the second Kuso6rande. That the first one had a lot of the classics. Like Beetlejuice on NES in the original Kuso6rande. That's come up a few times, and I love giving that out. Let's see. Of course, Kid Cool is a big pain in the butt for a lot of people. Let's see, Jim Power. I think that's one of my favorite games to give out for the Super Nintendo.
Which one is that? Is that the background is eating your brain?
Yes.
Game?
Exactly.
Yes. Oh.
Like it. I own a copy. Actually, I think I own multiple copies of Jim Power.
Why not?
Because it's on PC now. It's on Steam.
What? No. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Video game preservation is important. Yes. 100%. Let's go.
Yeah. I also love Go-Go 13, the Moffat Conspiracy. That's one that I really love to give out throughout history. What?
No, it's Corian now understanding the ramifications of what she's done. No, you fool, now you both drown.
Well, it happens to the best of us. Let's see. Darkman for the NES, Blues Brothers for the NES. You know, those first showed up in Kuso6rande, and I love Blues Brothers NES. It's bad, but it's also one of the most entertaining games to play. It's so fun.
Oh, knockout. Oh. It would be great if when you get a double knockout in Mega, you restart, and then as soon as you go down to the boss room, the boss explodes, and then you just win. Like, you gotta give it to him. You have an extra life, they didn't.
It's true. That would make sense. But, you know, as we learned in Wizard of Oz, double KO, unfortunately, it just isn't what it used to be. Oh yeah, Karnov. Huge fan of every version of Karnov. They're all different, and they're all amazing to give out.
I have Kuso6rande to thank for making me feel way better about myself when it comes to Karnov, because I grew up not understanding how that game worked and being just completely confused and unable to play when I rented it and just having a terrible time, and I thought it was like just not understanding anything at all. But no, that's Karnov. Don't worry, little Xander, you were doing the best.
It's true. Honestly, you know, just there are a lot of games that have come back over and over again throughout the years. I think that I would like to maybe do a count of how many times we've had some of the games here, because I'm not sure we have that readily available. Kid Cool probably is one of the top, though, because it's so hard, and it just makes you so angry if you have never played a game like it before.
How do you feel about the Fox version of it on Master System?
I actually think that one is a little bit worse.
What are the differences? I don't think I ever noticed them.
I don't recall. The difference is it's a little worse.
That's fair. It does have that thing where like they don't actually adjust the sprite when you punch. So when your character punches, like you just get an extra arm that emerges from your chest to punch, but your other two arms are still there.
Yeah. I get.
Oh, Cadus in chat saying Psycho Fox has character swaps, and they have different moves. Oh. Yeah,
and as far as I remember, like, they really weren't necessary.
Unlike in Little Samson, where you can be a little mouse, and that's all you need, baby.
Yeah. Oh, the Home Alone games I love to bring out. Of course, Home Alone 1 for NES is a little bit complicated because of how the timer works. It's just there have to be very specific rules in place in order for a winner to be determined. But I love bringing out any of the Home Alone games.
Escorian must be realizing that maybe spending the super arrow to get to this point and having to farm it back up was not a great thing. Was maybe not the best strategy, especially when the game refuses to give you energy. Just outright refuses.
Oh, Escape from Atlantis. That's another classic that has shown up multiple times, and I feel like everybody should experience one day. Because it was a prototype, it was never really meant for people to see, but we've got it, and it's completable, and it is so incredibly bad. But it's also got some really cool ideas. Like, I'm nothing but a fan of that game.
gosh, Ascarian is getting no drops at all. Oh. Oh. Yeah, at some point you gotta try something else, just like anything else.
Yeah, and I think that this is sort of an understandable attempt. Not gonna work.
Raj just say no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. No.
This is exactly what you were talking about when it came to the game being a butt. Honestly, I think right now, die and then try to get some power-ups as you're going back. And as soon as you're not able, if you don't get any, die and try to get power-ups again. It's just, I would rather be trying to go through a stage like from left to right and just trying to do it than just grinding for something that never comes.
Yeah. Yay!
Moonberry is through! Moonberry's gonna start catching up! Yes!
Yep. Still got like 15 minutes left. I'm so glad I get to like... There's still more to this game that I'm not gonna get to show today. I'm just gonna put it back in my pocket for when we least expect it. Gosh, I love this game.
Oh yeah, Lester the Unlikely is a really fun one to give out as well. I'm a huge fan of Dragon's Lair NES. I'm a huge fan... I think Corndan's favorite game to give out has to be Daydreamin' Davy. He is strangely obsessed with that one.
Oh yeah, Daydreamin' Davy.
Yeah. He played that in Kuso6rande and now is just in love. But yeah, they're like... Getting games that are reliably a good watch is a little, I don't know. It's just got a certain French saying that I'm not going to say because...
What is it? I can say it. I can say it. I'm here.
Yeah, but, okay, let me go ahead and butcher it for you, and I'm gonna butcher it on purpose so that y'all don't make fun of me for actually trying. The je ne sais quoi.
Oh yeah, je ne sais quoi. Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. A certain je ne sais quoi.
A certain something. It's
a certain something. Yeah.
Yeah. And like there,
people who make others feel bad for trying to speak a different language. It's great to learn a new language.
Agreed. But that's also a phrase that like the English world uses all the time, and I'm like.
Yeah, no, this is okay. So, this is a constant struggle whenever I go like out in a like say I'm in like I'm not in Canada. I'm in like in the U.S.
Okay.
And there's like a menu. I see a thing. Oh, it has one of those like crescent moon shaped breakfast rolls on the menu. Do I feel like, do I inflict psychic damage on myself and ask for No!
Moonberry is basically caught up to Ascarian, maybe a little bit behind at this point, but not that much. I love this.
Yeah, basically it's like, do I sound like an absolute pretentious jerk and say, yes, I'll... Or do I inflict psychic damage on myself and say... It's one of those things, you know? It's like I can't win.
I would just say it however you want. Or you could just say I want a crescent. And then you'll upset everybody, and that's okay because you know you're upsetting people.
No. Okay, hold on. I have accidentally put too much noise suppression because I just kept cutting out. Is this still okay?
Yeah, I think it's okay now. Say the word. Okay,
yes. So it's like, do I sound like a jerk and say I'll have a croissant, or do I inflict psychic damage on myself and ask for a croissant? Did people hear that work?
See, To fit in with the rest of America, you could say croissant, and that'll work.
It's like asking for like the maitre d', which is like, no, that's not a word.
It's not, but I actually can. I don't know.
It's like saying the master O apostrophe. That's what that word means.
Here's the deal.
Like, it has as much sense as that.
If you listen to English words that are used in other languages, they are butchered just as much, and I love the butchering, okay? I am a huge fan of how it's butchered.
You do understand, though, that it is not always a one-to-one. Like the concept of not all languages are created equal, and some languages spread through the world through colonialism, and there's a power imbalance between some languages. So it's not necessarily like, well, your language does it to my language, therefore it's okay. It's sometimes there's okay. It's a little bit more complex.
I understand. Like there's some where I think possibly.
That's it. Between French and English, I'm fine saying no, your point is valid. Between French and for sure. I'm gonna walk that back and say no. For this case, we're talking about specifically right now. Yeah, no, you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how often the English butcher English words? Like we're gonna butcher everything.
That's in French words too. Oh gosh, at least we can relate to that. Let's talk about the mainland and how they've ruined our language. That's the thing we can say. Oh.
It's mostly English that England ruined English, okay? Because they were like, hey, let's go ahead and create stupid accents in order to tell class differences between people. Because, that should totally be a thing. Thank you, England.
Yeah, no, I kid, but there's the Quebec to France relationship has always been one of constant ribbing. But yeah, the world's a complex thing. There's a lot of things to consider, but also sometimes it's fine to acknowledge it, but also talk about what's on your mind.
Oh yeah,
if it doesn't hurt anyone.
I agree. It's oh my gosh, one of my favorite shows that sort of deals with that. If you've never seen Kim's Convenience, it's on Netflix.
Go ahead, sorry.
I love the show. I absolutely love it. The stars in it, they are Korean. They play they play characters who speak Korean as a second language. The two actors themselves, though, do speak perfect English. It's just they sort of play the stereotyped role, and yet it still doesn't feel stereotyped in many ways. It's so strange. You were gonna say something about it, though.
Yeah, I try. People were just some friends were saying oh, Kim's Convenience is great. So I literally loaded it up. The very first scene I saw in the first episode, it showed me had the character talking to a drag queen. So I said, okay, turned it off and just did not go back to it.
I'm going to say that the first episode, specifically the first scene of the first episode, is the worst scene in the entire show.
Okay, that's why I haven't watched it though. Just to be as an explanation.
Okay, go ahead and skip that, and you can. Yeah, skip episode 1, and I think that you will enjoy a lot of it. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a bad take in some ways. It's just a very,
Oh yeah, no, I just interpreted it as, this show is not for me.
No, the rest of it is fantastic. The first episode, definitely the worst episode in the show from what I've seen. And I've seen the whole show.
That's something I live in, that's as someone who, as a writer and artist, that's something I live in fear of, that oh no, what if I made a thing, one of my books is a little bit messier than the others. I live in fear of people discovering my work through that book, and then having a bad impression of me and the rest of my work from that point on because of the impression with the thing.
Moonberry's making me laugh. That's what he's doing. But yeah, I recommend it, and I fully support especially anybody in the LGBT community, to start on episode 2.
Okay, yeah, that's next time I feel compelled to check that out.
I still feel
I will do that.
episode 1 has some redeeming qualities. It's just a little problematic because you are just getting introduced to the characters. Once you know the characters, you know that they're not like really trying to be disrespectful in any way, but they have to earn that, and unfortunately earning it after the fact just doesn't work.
in a circumstance where like in like I am someone who is just browsing and like, oh, okay, I would watch a show. What people are recommending to me, like, okay, all right, I'll watch something else then, and then I just don't really think about it again.
Yep. But Xandra, go ahead and give that another watch. I think it's some of the best writing in a comedy I've seen in ages. It's really good. Anyway, yeah. So the game that's happening in front of us, the players are really close to each other.
Yep, it's.
Well, Moonberry got dunked on. This is so freaking hard, though. Like,
yeah, it really is.
I understand what they were trying to do with this, but remember, without the ROM hack version, you have limited lives.
Yeah, I can't I'm so sad for the ROM hack Ota, because like we don't get to see their vision. We haven't gotten to like the pièce de résistance. I just sound like a jerk now. I'm just using French expressions, but it's you know, I haven't gotten to the meat of the
piece of resistance.
Exactly, the resistance piece.
Resistance piece. We need to get to the resistance piece
right now. If only there were fewer episodes. I just can't take another 100. Just stop it with the filler.
Yeah, we were talking about the show Kim's Convenience. Start on episode 2 and you will love it. And if you're part of the LGBT community, you can watch episode 1 after you've watched the whole show. Okay, I'll go ahead and say that.
No, yeah, okay, so that is the... So, this... So, it is not evident that you're supposed to ride on that enemy. This is where you could have used like some background element with an arrow or something to tell people, hey, you need to ride on, you step on that guy's face, yeah, exactly.
And you have to walk with it. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
That's bad. I mean, technically, if you had played the earlier levels, you would probably know that by now. Because
I think it does show up once.
It does show up there. So because of that, you know, the players here did not get to learn that lesson and just had to sort of bash their head against the wall to try to figure it out.
Yeah, that's on me. I should have told them.
No,
hey,
no,
you can
it's not.
The guy's face. No? Okay.
No, that's part of the challenge of New Game Plus.
Okay.
That's
fair. That's part of the thing.
Yeah. It all depends on the game and the specific challenge. Like, it wouldn't have hurt to tell them, but they're both on equal ground and trying to figure out the BS that is this game.
That's true. They did, right. The previous boss, you can stand on his face.
So, at this point, would you say Ascorian is in the lead? Ascorian rode the robot.
If Ascorian, I did not see Ascorian ride the robot, but if Ascorian did, then yes, absolutely.
That did just happen not long ago.
There we go. Oh, yep. Just gotta learn to walk with the friend. But yeah, it's whoever makes it. This is gonna be another pixel. Like, who got furthest?
Apparently, Cadus is saying, yeah, both died about the same place, so it's really up in the air. If either one of them can have a good push, that will move them into the lead. Otherwise, it will probably go to a VOD review.
Yep, whoever made it there first.
I don't know. Like, if they died on the same pixel, then whoever made it there first. Otherwise, this is very linear progress, and it would be easy for us to go and measure by pixel who made more progress.
You're right, because yeah, exactly. This stage has like very like offset tiled backgrounds, so it's easy to tell. You can count pixels since we can clearly see. Like,
yep. That's the convenience and sort of the danger when it comes to games like Mega Man, because it's very easy to understand progress. Whereas if, you know, somebody, if you had to go backtrack to get an item in order to get through a specific door, that would be much more difficult to measure, because, you know, you can't really say that so-and-so was closer to getting an item than this other person, you know, because they have to figure out where to go and what exactly to do. For Mega Man, pure progress measured by pixel is the way to go.
Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, judicious use of beat here. However, you do need a friend to help you not die. Dang it.
Same. To me.
Yeah, this is probably this is the last attempt for sure. All right, let's see.
Like, at least the music's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure this is exactly new music.
Music.
Yeah.
No. Well. There we go. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a VOD review if they both made it to the same. Whoever made it furthest. I can't believe it's down to standing on that guy's face.
Yep. It will be a VOD review, everybody, to see where they were the frame that they touched the spikes.
This game's hard.
Yeah, as it turns out. Well,
yeah.
Not only that, but the game is over, everybody. That is it. We are done with the match. Throw your hands up in the air. Congratulations to the players for having such a close match. Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, Escorian and Moonberry put a valiant effort trying to get through this. I'm going to go ahead and invite them to come and chat. So how do you feel they did with this? For never having played any of the rest of this game before.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. This is like, this is just really rude Mega Man ROM hacking. And it's like, again, it's shooting for the moon, but gosh, turns out the moon is actually pretty far.
Yeah, the moon is a little far away.
Well then.
It looks like we have both Escorian and Moonberry here. Here's the deal. We're going to have to do a VOD review and measure how far both of you got riding the robot.
I got like one step.
Yep.
So, yeah, Cadus is actively going and checking. Yeah, both of you were very close to each other. I do not know exactly how it is. Cadus, though, is riding a little bit. Tell me about your experience with these stages, though. Escorian, what are your thoughts about the levels?
I saw a little bit of the second one, not even a checkpoint.
Yeah, this was tough. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was tough. No, go ahead. Moonberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect this to be one of those Mega Man games.
I mean, yeah.
Cadus is saying that we fell off without realizing we had to walk on it.
I don't know if it matters, but I did use the Styro to get past the first little section of the robot and fell off the second little section.
Yeah, that's where I used Rush Jet to get past that part.
You used Rush Jet? Yeah. Honestly, yeah, I feel like, you know, going back and reviewing VODs, great. You may wish to go and just check to see if where we find is the most amount of progress matches exactly. So
okay.
if it was just standing on the robot and you didn't make more progress to the right on a different attempt, then it would be Escorian taking the victory.
Kate says apparently I took it.
Yeah, Escorian. Okay, yeah. Kate says Escorian got there and died at 55:31, 4 pixels ahead. So, yeah, like by both measures, it seems to be Escorian taking a dispatch.
Yeah, but did one of you said that you rode one of the robots, right? Or like rode something a little bit to the right?
Yeah, I took Rush Jet to the same spot apparently that Xandra did.
Okay, gotcha. So,
Or not Xandra, Moonberry, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no.
no, Xandra
I was
died
not
there much
participating
too.
in
It's
this.
fine.
I did. Oh, gosh.
So yeah, I would say that right now it appears that Escorian took the victory, but of course, if you want to go back and check to see if there was a point that you did get further to the right or farther to the right than the attempt riding the robot and not walking with it and falling to your death, then you would be welcome to do that, Moonberry, and share it with us because, yeah, well, Cadis is skimming through it and taking a look, but yeah, it was super close. It was so close.
I honestly thought Moonberry was going to take this anyways.
Oh my gosh.
I struggled. I had controller issues at the beginning as well. Not that it mattered much, but for some, I set my controls when we did the test initially, and for some reason it reset them when I restarted my computer.
Oh
no.
Right.
Welcome to Control Boss. Yeah, that happens sometimes. But honestly, like, Escorian had a lead for a really long time, but got very stuck on the stupid part where, like, you had to shoot an arrow in the gap and then do the slide above it, land on the arrow, jump up, grab the ladder before everything fell apart. And let's just say that wasn't easy.
No. This is like. So what are your thoughts on Wily's Dream Space from like the 1.5 stages you've played of it?
Where are my power-ups?
Oh my gosh, you were grinding for so long.
Yeah! It just wouldn't give it to you. Like,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not. Not even ball weapon energy.
Moonberry,
No.
for context, Escorian ran out of the power-up specifically for the arrow right before the place where using the arrow is basically required. And she sat there grinding for probably a solid 5 minutes and just had no luck getting any weapon drops.
Not even health drops.
Yeah,
No,
like nothing. Just nothing.
Yeah, the drops seemed pretty sparse. I had to grind a little bit as well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of fun with this. Honestly, ROM hacks have a variety of quality, and this one, like, I think there were some neat ideas, but especially when they started cramming so many enemies into a space and the lag went through the roof, it was questionable.
Oh yeah, when half the enemies were invisible for me because there were so many chickens on the screen.
Oh, they were also invisible for you. Like, it was like, figure like, 30-second stream. Yeah, we can't see, but also you also couldn't see. That's interesting.
That's great. Well, Moonberry, this was a very good playthrough that you had throughout Kuso6rande. For being here, I believe your first year, you did an amazing job making it to the bracket. I do have to ask if you have any last words. If nothing gets turned over after the review, any last words for the tournament?
I
For
want to
your
remind
grade.
Garfield that he had burst. Had burst.
Head burst?
Had burst.
Oh no.
Like in a fighting game where you got burst and you lose and you still have a way to get out of a combo. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Oh,
So-
Garfield. He just.
I've been playing since we
Yep.
time.
Yep, that room.
Stream
That
Hatman
room.
wrote it out, and now I understand. I just had to I had to see it to understand. Garfield, you could have.
How are you?
See, it's a pixel. Again, you have to find the pixel, but thankfully there's a ladder to.
Oh my gosh, that is a good. Okay. Let me see if I can put this picture up for everybody.
It's just, yeah, I love this game. It tried. It really, like, the creator had such a vision. But,
Oh my God.
Mega Man 5 ROM hack is a pretty, like, wide brush to do detail painting with.
Ooh, I actually made it through.
Poor Garfield. He had burst. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Escorian and Moonberry. This was a blast. I will see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
GG,
hopefully see you next
Moonberry.
tournament.
GG.
GG. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you, Zandra. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Emphasis on rest.
Ah, yeah.
Bye-bye.
Okay, ciao. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and run an ad, and I will be right back. I gotta stand up for a second. Okay, they recommend you stand up and not sit for like a minute every hour, and I haven't done that for a couple hours. So let's do that. I will be back in a minute.